everybody, welcome to Mount's Botanical Garden. Today we are going to be making a kitchen scrap garden. My name is Diane and I work here at the garden. I'm the youth programs manager, and this is one of the programs we do with kids and adults. It's something that anybody can do, families, individuals. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking all these vegetables and we're going to be making a garden out of the parts of the vegetables that we normally throw away. So one of the things you can do with those scraps is you can compost them, but if you're like me and you don't have a compost bin, you can make your own garden out of them. A lot of these things that we're going to be growing today, we're not going to be growing actual plants. We're going to be growing greens that grow out of the tops of the plants, and we can actually harvest those greens in as soon as 3 or 4 days with some of these things. So we're going to be working with celery and green onions. We have leeks. These are leeks right here. We have green onions, beets, radishes. This is Napa cabbage. We have garlic, carrots. This is what carrots look like when they grow. I got these from a farmer's market, but you can buy these things at Publix, Winn-Dixie, wherever you want. I just wanted to buy these. I went to a farmer's market because I wanted you guys to see what the greens look like when they're growing out of the ground. So these would be actually under the ground like this, and this is what you're going to see growing out of the top of the ground. These greens, these carrot greens, can be used in salads. You can put them in stir fries, all kinds of stuff. We have romaine lettuce here. We have curly leaf parsley. We have this right here is rosemary. We have cilantro. We have the curly leaf parsley, and we also have onions. And one of the things you might want to look for when you're picking your vegetables that you're going to use in your scrap garden is we want them to grow. So we want to find things that if they have roots on them, those are a little bit better to buy. So if you look at these green onions, we bought them with the roots on them. That's going to help them to grow right away. Your leeks are going to have roots on them right away. Your garlic can have roots on them. And I bought these red onions with the roots on them so that they're going to grow a lot faster. So what you're going to need a knife. It doesn't need to be a big, gigantic, sharp knife. Any kind of kitchen knife will do. You want some containers. We have containers of all different sizes and shapes. And these are all, it depends on what you want your container garden to look like. We have plastic cups, so they don't need to be glass. I bought everything from the dollar store. So you can get everything for $1, no problem. You can use glass, you can use plastic, anything you want. You're going to want toothpicks. So we have a container of toothpicks here if we want to suspend our stuff. Like I said, you want a knife. There's a guide that's telling you what we're going to be growing. So we're going to be growing herbs. Herbs are examples is the rosemary and the parsley. We've got stems, and it says here what they are: bok choy, cabbage, celery, green onions, leeks, lettuce. Root veggies with leafy tops, those are your beets. Those are your carrots, your radishes, and the root veggies with leafy, I think I said that, root veggies with leafy tops are your beets, your carrots, your radishes, turnips, and bulbs. Those are like garlic and onions, and those actually grow better in soil, but you can start them in water, and once your roots kind of they take off, then you can plant those in soil. You don't want your soil to be too wet, though. You want your soil to just be moist. So we're going to start off with, we're going to take a container like this, and we can, in a container like this, we're going to want to put some of our larger stuff. So I'm going to take one of my romaine pieces, and your leaves grow out of this stalk right here in the bottom. So this stuff, if you put this stuff in here in the top in there, it's not going to grow. You want to use the bottom part. And like we said, this is a scrap garden. So think about it as to what part of the plant you eat. So we're going to cut it right about here. We're going to leave a couple of inches just so we make sure that the stalk is in there. And then this part we can eat. So this is what we're going to use. This is the scrap part, and this is what we're going to use for our garden. So let's put our lettuce over there. We don't need it. And you can see right here, there's a stalk in the middle. That's where your leaves are going to grow out of that stalk. So that's what you want in there. And basically what you're going to do is you're just going to either put it flat in a container, and you're going to put a little bit of water in there. Actually, I can put some of the water in there. You can see how much you put in. So you just want to cover it up to right where the leaves start. You don't want it too deep because your leaves are going to rot and they're going to get mushy. So you just want it, like an inch deep, and you want the bottom part submerged so your roots can grow. You can also do it a different way. If we want to take a container like this, we can take our toothpicks and start at the top of your lettuce. And I would put in 3 or 4. toothpicks. This isn't going to harm it if you put your toothpicks in. It doesn't hurt the growth process. And then those are going to act as to hold your lettuce in your container. And then what you would do is you would fill your water up just above the roots, just like you did in here. So this is all you're going to do. And then the other thing you need to consider when you're doing your container garden is I made my first container garden on big trays, and I realized after I made my container garden that I didn't have a table next to the window. So I ended up having to put my container garden outside, and the bugs got at it. But I did get a lot of growth off of it. But if you have a windowsill, if you just have a windowsill, you might want to go looking for containers that are thin that can fit on your windowsill. They need to get a lot of light. You can't grow them in shade. You have to get a lot of light, so you want them in a windowsill. So these also, plastic cups are really good. Small bowls, like I said, these are all from the dollar store. And then if you have a larger area, you can get some of these larger containers, and you can grow your garden in these larger containers. So that's the lettuce. With celery, you can see you can buy these at Publix. They come in the bags. They don't have to be from the farmers markets. And the same thing with the celery. You have this stalk down here in the middle where everything grows out of the middle. So you're going to go up just a couple of inches right where the celery starts to taper off and get skinnier, and you're going to cut right about there. And this is what we're going to eat. You can use these in soups and salads, all kinds of stuff. But this is what we're going to grow. If you actually look in the very center, there's little leaves. You can see the little leaves growing out of the core of the celery. And you can do the same thing as the lettuce. You can either suspend it in a container, or you can take it and just put it in your container just like this and put it in the water, and it's going to grow roots. So once those roots start growing, it'll grow a lot faster. But even right off the bat, you're going to end up with leaves growing out of here just in a matter of a week or so. You're going to start having leaves you can use in your, like I said, in salads and soups and all kinds of stuff. Let's see, let's do a carrot. So we're going to take carrots, and carrots grow in the ground. If you look at the way they grow like this. So you have to find the top of the carrot, because that's where the greens are going to grow out of. So here you can see it's the wider part of the carrot is the top of the carrot. And you're going to go just a few inches, actually like an inch and a half. You don't even have to go that big. And just cut off the top, and you'll end up with a little flat piece like this. And you can do that. Actually, when I did this, I grew 5 or 6 of them. It's actually really pretty. It's very, it looks very nice when they start growing. And you can grow, a bunch of these in one small container, one flat container. So this is our container garden. Something that you can put, as you can see, you can put it in your windowsill. It's beautiful. It's functional. You can get fresh greens. You can get all kinds of good stuff for cooking. And that's your kitchen scrap garden. Thanks for joining us. Had a great time. Bye.